Good evening and welcome to your Wednesday, July 9, 2025 edition of the Evening News. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for joining us. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Guyana inks MOU with U.S. company to boost marketing, branding of regional food hub. GECOM approves symbols for 21 political parties contesting 2025 elections. APNU'S lukewarm campaign launch a sign of what's to come, says NANDLALL. U.S. to offer training to GPF observer missions ahead of September 1 polls. St. Lucian National charged with armed robbery, attempted murder and gun possession, and dual charge remanded for murder of LIECHFIELD teen. Now for the news in detail. In a bold step towards transforming the Caribbean into a global agribusiness powerhouse, Guyana has signed a major partnership agreement with U.S.-based agricultural leader Bloomberg Grain. The new Memorandum of Understanding aims to ramp up the marketing and international branding of the region's flagship food hub, currently being developed at Yarracabra. Details in this Churchill Sobers report.
In a seismic leap forward for regional agriculture and food security, Guyana has inked a groundbreaking Memorandum of Understanding MOU with U.S. agribusiness powerhouse Bloomberg Grain, cementing an international partnership that is poised to catapult Caribbean-grown produce onto the global stage. The MOU, signed on Wednesday in a high-stakes meeting at the Ministry of Agriculture's boardroom, formalizes a bold new alliance focused on marketing and branding the soon-to-be-completed regional food hub at Yarracabra, a key pillar in President Dr. Irfan Ali's aggressive food security agenda. Agriculture Minister Zulfikar Mustafa during the ceremony disclosed that the agreement also lays the foundation for integrating modern marketing strategies and branding mechanisms to expand Guyana's agricultural exports and secure a stronger presence in the Caribbean Community CARICOM and South American markets. Highlighting that Guyana is the only country in the world that can feed its citizens, Mustafa noted that the MOU further complements work executed by the People's Progressive Party's civic government over the past 5 years.
As Guyana is now developing its infrastructure in the country, we are also lending expertise and assistance to member states in CARICOM. Only yesterday we had the heads of government concluded its meeting in Jamaica, and we heard coming out of the communique that food security is one of the most important items on CARICOM's agenda moving forward. And the PPP civic government, over the years, have increased budgetary allocation from 2020, when I became Minister of Agriculture, from $13 billion to today $106 billion, leaving out the other direct investment like this, what we'll be executing here this morning.
Meanwhile, Bloomberg Grain's Executive Vice President Jeff Speaks echoed similar sentiments, pointing to Guyana's unmatched agricultural potential and strategic geographic location as a launchpad for penetrating both CARICOM and South American markets.
The President wants a food hub, and the Minister has reinforced that, in Guyana to serve not just the country, but CARICOM and parts of South America. And we're prepared to join the Minister and the President in that effort to create a major regional hub. My confidence in the President's vision for this country allows me to make announcements here today that I have not made publicly. We will invest. Not only will we do this project, and I hope others. There's been a discussion of rice and meat and poultry and so forth, and even a pork project. But the reality is we're prepared to invest in processing on our account of Guyana agricultural products.
The Yarracabra Food Hub, located on the bustling Suzaik-Linden Highway, is being designed as a state-of-the-art agri-processing, logistics, and export hub, a game-changing nerve center intended to slash post-harvest losses, streamline distribution, and drive unprecedented market access for farmers across the region. Guyana's partnership with Bloomberg Grain, a titan in the international agricultural scene brings cutting-edge marketing intelligence, branding expertise, and access to high-value markets to the table. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Let's now tell you that the Guyana Elections Commission GECOM has approved the symbols of 21 political parties that have signaled their interest in contesting the September 1 general and regional elections. Initially, 22 parties had submitted symbols for approval by GECOM. However, Deputy Chief Elections Officer Anil Giddings told reporters at a media sensitization session on Wednesday that one of the parties, the Republic Party of Guyana, headed by Joel Hamilton, has since pulled out of the race. With their symbols now approved, these 21 parties will now have to submit their lists of candidates and nominators to the Elections Commission on Nominations Day, slated for Monday, July 14. GECOM will be publishing the final and approved list, titles, and symbols on July 23 after a vetting rigorous process to ensure that all the submissions are in compliance with the various legal practices and procedures. Harris Vanu Manikchand, who reports that as part of its election support to local stakeholders, the United States government will be fielding experts to assist the Guyana Police Force with security training ahead of the September 1, 2025 general and regional elections.
Speaking with reporters on the sidelines of an event on Wednesday, United States Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriot disclosed that the Guyana Police Force has requested support from the U.S. on security training ahead of the upcoming September 1 elections.
So what we're going to be doing very, very shortly is bringing in police trainers from, we haven't settled yet on either Las Vegas or Miami-Dade, to provide election security training. So to help the GPF be prepared for whatever might come. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully it'll be nice and peaceful. But we're going to be doing that. As you know, our elections, no matter how contentious they might be, they're always peaceful for the most part. And so we do have a lot of expertise in that in the United States. So we were very happy to help. We were hoping to bring back the NYPD because there's already that wonderful partnership between the New York Police Department and the government of the Guyana Police Force. But unfortunately, they were unable to travel until September, and that won't help us much with an election on September 1st. So we reached out to Las Vegas and to Miami-Dade, and one of them will be coming.
However, Ambassador Theriot could not say how many of these security experts will be coming to provide the training.
I'm so sorry, I don't have that as of yet. But it will be probably a relatively small team, but they will come and they will train the trainers, if you will, and then they will take that, the GPF who were trained will then take that to the rest of the police force.
Meanwhile, in addition to the support for the police force, the U.S. is also working along with various elections observer missions here.
For example, we're funding 2/3 of the OAS election observation mission who will be coming in, and we work extremely closely with the Carter Center, who we're thrilled will be here. Actually, I believe they arrived at the end of June to do their election observation through the results tabulation. So very, very pleased to have that incredible institution here and to be able to support them, along with my colleagues at the UK, EU, and Canadian missions.
The U.S. also assisted the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, to field technical experts who are currently working with the Guyana Elections Commission, GECOM, in their preparations for the September 1 polls. According to Ambassador Theriot, this collaboration in ensuring that there is international presence all across the country during this electoral process.
So we're playing a role and we're coordinating amongst all of the missions. We're coordinating with the Private Sector Commission. Anyone who is doing election observation here, CARICOM as well. We're trying to ensure that we're all working together so that we're not redundant and that hopefully every polling station in the country has international observers. I will tell you that we meet regularly with GECOM, the CEO, the commissioners, the chairwoman, and as they've described the process, we feel that this can be a free, fair, and transparent election. But all of the procedures just simply have to be followed at every polling station in the country. And having those international observers there, having those party observers there is going to be very instrumental in that.
At least 21 political parties have signaled their interest in contesting the upcoming general and regional elections, with GECOM already approving their party symbols. Nomination day will be held on Monday, during which these parties will have to submit their respective lists of candidates and nominators to the Elections Commission for approval. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
People's Progressive Party executive member Anil NANDLALL on Tuesday evening highlighted the dwindling support for the main opposition political party, A Partnership for National Unity, which launched its 2025 elections campaign on Sunday at the Square of the Revolution in Georgetown. This dwindling support, he said, is evident in the poor turnout. Davina Samaru has the details.
Having been in this business now for quite some time, and having seen many APNU, PNC, AFC campaigns being launched, it is my view that this campaign, the launch of this campaign was lukewarm, to say in the least.
People's Progressive Party executive member Anil NANDLALL, during his program Issues in the News on Tuesday evening, commenting on APNU'S recent campaign launch at the Square of the Revolution in Georgetown.
The crowd was appreciably smaller when compared to previous similar launches. And the most ardent supporter of the PNC will agree with me. It was a disappointment, to say in the least.
NANDLALL, who is also the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, said the PPP's recent fundraisers have attracted larger crowds. For instance, the fundraising dinner hosted at the Arthur Chung Conference Center attracted some 15,000 persons, even with a fee of $5,000. The PPP's Region 3 fundraising dinner, as well as the barbecue and fun day at Everest, attracted thousands.
And I believe that that is an indicia of what is to come. And no one can be surprised, because the PNC is at its weakest.
NANDLALL believes the reduction in supporters for the PNC APNU is tied to the exodus of members from the party in recent months. PNC APNU leader Aubrey Norton recently downplayed the impact of these resignations, claiming that the former members were not heavyweights. But many of the resignations came from members of parliament such as Amanza Walton Desir, Jermaine Figuera, Natasha Singh Lewis, and Geeta Chandan Edmond.
It is very illogical that you would put these persons at that high institution, the highest forum that is available to you in opposition, and then when they leave, you say that they are not heavyweights. Well, if they are not heavyweights, why were they in the parliament for the last 5 years?
NANDLALL also asserted that the party's dwindling support is rooted in the APNU-AFC's administration's failure to deliver on its campaign promises during its 2015 to 2020 tenure in office. On Sunday, the APNU again issued a list of promises, including a 35% salary increase for government workers, an increased income tax threshold of $400,000, a monthly $50,000 stipend to each student pursuing a post-secondary study, an increase in the old age pension to $100,000, and a cash grant to every child of $120,000 annually.
With these few promises that I have just written down here, within 1 year, within 6 months of government, we are bankrupt, or very close to bankruptcy, with just delivering these promises. There is not an iota of thought being given to sustainability, to affordability, to the financial and fiscal ability to deliver these promises. Nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Reporting for the evening news, Davina Samaru.
Coming up, we'll have this resolved soon. U.S. Ambassador signals breakthrough in catfish ban standoff with Guyana, and the criminal offense to enter Amerindian villages without permission, says AG. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Join us for our open day at the prestigious Art Williams and Harry Wendt Aeronautical Engineering School on July 11th at 10 a.m. at the Eugene F. Correa International Airport. Experience firsthand the excitement of our workshops and gain insights from industry experts. Enroll now and graduate with an associate's degree in aircraft maintenance engineering. Call us on telephone numbers 222-2155 or visit our website at aesguyana.net.
Did you know that Gassi's Jet A1 fuel is a type of aviation fuel specially formulated for turbine engines? Jet A1 fuel is safer to handle and transport than any other fuel types due to its high flash point and low volatility. It also boasts a high energy content, enhancing aircraft performance and efficiency. So whether traveling for business or pleasure, choose Guyana's Jet A1 fuel for a safe, reliable, and efficient flight.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. There may be a breakthrough on the horizon in the long-standing catfish export standoff between Guyana and the United States. In a promising development, the United States Ambassador to Guyana, Nicole Thiroux, has signaled that a resolution is near, telling reporters, "We'll have this resolved soon." Trishelle Sobers filed this report.
After years of frustration, mounting diplomatic pressure, and hard-fought negotiations, hope is finally on the horizon for Guyana's embattled catfish exporters. In a strong show of support, United States Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Thiroux on Wednesday declared that a resolution to the long-standing U.S. ban on Guyanese catfish imports is, quote, very, very near, end quote. Speaking candidly at the Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony between Guyana and Bloomberg Grain, Ambassador Thiroux said that the once dawning process, triggered by stringent updates to U.S. seafood import regulations, has seen Guyana delivering on every single technical requirement to requalify for access to the American market.
I know this has been a very long-term negotiation. As you all know, the requirements for importing catfish into the United States and most seafoods became much more stringent quite a few years ago, and so Guyana had to requalify, if you will, as did the rest of the world. Guyana has taken every step we've asked of them. It's a long process. They will submit the responses to questions we have. We'll ask more questions. They'll submit more responses, but I can tell you that it's going very, very well. Guyana has been incredibly responsive.
The United States has maintained a ban on catfish exports from Guyana since 2017 during the administration of former President David Granger. At the time, Guyana's catfish exports to the U.S. were valued at approximately $1.8 billion. Since entering office in 2020, the current People's Progressive Party Civic (PPPC) government has been working assiduously with the USDA to revise the ban. Now, the tides may finally be turning, with Ambassador Terriot indicating that herself and Guyanese Minister of Agriculture, Zulfikar Mustafa, are fully aligned in pushing for a breakthrough.
I am very, very hopeful, as is the minister, that we'll have this resolved soon and that it will be a positive response. And I am certainly pushing on my end to make that happen.
According to the U.S. regulations, Guyana must be able to catch catfish and transport it to a processing plant while it is alive. This is in contradiction to what is being practiced here, whereby the fish is caught, disemboweled, and the carcass is iced until it reaches the shore. Exporters of catfish were required to provide documentation to verify that their inspection system was equivalent to U.S. standards. The failure to do so resulted in the U.S. imposing a ban on catfish imports from Guyana and other non-compliant countries. Guyana is also required to have inspectors at the plants, along with a documentation of sanitation and the hazard analysis and critical control point during the packaging process. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil NANDLALL has reminded that it is a criminal offense for persons to enter Amerindian villages without their permission. His comments come on the heels of a Tushao expressing concerns that a presidential hopeful forced his way into an Amerindian village without the community's permission to do political work.
The Amerindian villages, historically and under the Amerindian Act, are not public property. They are private property. Most of them communally owned by title. And therefore, unauthorized persons can't enter an Amerindian reservation. That's what it's called in North America, or an Indian reservation, without permission. The same position obtains in Guyana under the Amerindian Act. And if you enter the Amerindian village without permission, you commit a criminal offense, and you can be charged and placed before a magistrate for a summary offense. It's a criminal offense under the Act. The persons who under the law are presumed to have permission are government officers going into Amerindian communities to do government business. That category of persons are exempt from the permission and exempt by the Act. And the Amerindian Act simply re-legislate a position that had obtained even before 2006, before the enactment of this Act. It was always an offense to enter an Amerindian reservation or an Amerindian village without the permission of the village council or the village leaders.
2 men were on Wednesday arraigned with the murder of 18-year-old Jeroy Gordon of LIECHFIELD Village, West Coast, Berbice. Andrew Carmichael was at the court and has the details.
19-year-old Anton Campbell, also called Anton, and Royston Frank, called Fearless, 33, both of number 40 Village, West Coast, Berbice, appeared before Magistrate Michelle Matthias at the Fort Wellington Magistrates Court, where the charge was read to them. Police stated that on July 3rd, 2025 at number 40 Village, West Coast, Berbice, Campbell and Frank murdered Gelroy Gordon. The duo was not required to plead to the indictable charge. During the proceedings, Police Prosecutor Sergeant Garfield Edwards informed the court that the case file is completed, but the postmortem examination report is outstanding and as such asked for time to get the file in order. As such, the two men were remanded until August 8th, and the matter has been transferred to the Welland Magistrates Court. It was reported that the now dead teen was attacked and killed by a group of men over an ongoing feud with a gang from another village. Preliminary investigations revealed that Gordon and his 16-year-old brother traveled a few villages away to purchase food, and on their way back they passed a group of young men known to them. According to the younger brother, Jerry, when they arrived at the food stand, they realized that their motorcycle was out of gasoline. The younger brother was sent to his sister's house a few houses away to make a phone call to have someone bring gasoline for them. By the time he returned, Gordon had already managed to secure gas. However, on their way back home, they were attacked by a gang during which Gordon was beaten to death. His younger brother managed to escape. Several persons were arrested, but charges were only instituted against Campbell and Frank. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
19-year-old St. Lucian national Condoleezza Henry was on Wednesday slapped with several charges, ranging from armed robbery to attempted murder and unlawful possession of a firearm and ammunition when she appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court. The housekeeper from Guy-Hawk squatting area, Georgetown, was accused of playing a crucial role in a violent robbery committed on Claudius Fraser, the operations manager, attached to Caliber Security Service on June 20 at Princess Street Lodge. During the robbery, Fraser was reportedly relieved of a .32 revolver and $495,000 in cash. During the ordeal, the attackers allegedly shot him using his own firearm. However, Henry was apprehended during a cordon and search operation at her residence on July 6, thus leading to the recovery of the revolver, one live round, and a spent shell. Police are on the hunt for 29-year-old Christoph Nicholson for questioning in connection with the robbery. Meanwhile, Henry was remanded to prison and the matter was adjourned to July 30. 6 people are now homeless after a fire of unknown origin destroyed their home on Tuesday afternoon in East Canje, Berbice. Lawanda McAllister has the details.
A couple both employed at the Rose Hall Sugar Estate in East Canje, Region 6, and their 4 children are the victims of the Canje blaze. Imran Khan, 39, and his wife Sheena were not at home at the time. According to the estate worker, he left home at about 14:30 to pick up his wife, who was a security officer at the estate. He said he took his 2 younger children, aged 11 and 8, with him, and after picking up his wife, did not go home but headed to the quarantine. He intended to get to the Rose Hall town to purchase a new phone for himself. His 2 teenage sons were left at home at the time.
Why is going up the quarantine? So this is Rose Hall quarantine to buy something. So when I go in up the quarantine, I end up getting a phone call around like Supreme car, that the house is on fire. So I have to end up turning back and I come back when I almost reach home. The whole house done on fire, done burned out right down.
Meanwhile, reports are that neighbors saw thick smoke coming from the upper flat of the 2-story building and rushed over and realized that the 2 teenage boys were rocking in hammocks under the house, unaware that the building was on fire. Initial reports were to try to douse the fire with water, but as the neighbors made their way up the stairs, the windows to the front of the house burst open, pushing thick smoke and heat outside and forcing them to flee. Khan said there were no electrical appliances in use on the upper flat at the time, nor could the stove have been left on.
I'm cooking down early in the morning before my wife go to work, and everything just the normal when I leave the house. The only thing is down in my home is the fridge is down for the electrical thing. Only in the night them buys is and fan, and that's it.
Khan noted that the refrigerator was situated on the lower floor. He said he has nowhere to stay currently. The couple had been renting the house and had been living there for the past 4 years. Persons who may wish to contact the family can do so on telephone numbers 604-2738 or 679-5544. Reporting for the Evening News, Lawanda McAllister.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic at 3 hours 55 on Thursday, July 10, 2025 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic at 16 hours 25 on Thursday, July 10, 2025, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
President Ali welcomes world to ExxonMobil GSL 2025 edition, and ExxonMobil GSL has ruffled some feathers, says President Ali. These stories and more coming up in this evening's Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Did you know you can shop all your cat parts online? Start by heading over to parts.cat.com, select MacCorp as your dealer, and register your name, address, and contact information. Once registered, you can shop for genuine cat parts anytime, anywhere at your convenience. First-time customers receive 15% discount, plus 5% off for every purchase after. MacCorp, let's do the work.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Sun or rain? Up or down? No one knows what tomorrow will bring, but with Premier's commercial property insurance, you'll be ready. For all risks insurance, call 223-0840 or visit premierinsurance.gy. Fuel your success. Premier Insurance. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Gold mining can be expensive if you don't have the right tools. Mining requires engines that can pump high volumes of water and slurry, the most tried and tested of which are Doots engines. Doots engines are among the most reliable in the world. Where can you get them? At your #1 industrial solutions provider, Sylvies. We have them in 2 to 6 cylinders, ranging from 23 horsepower to 80 horsepower. Most miners use Doots engines because they're lightweight, use less fuel, and require less maintenance because they are air-cooled. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it to our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.